Pokémon GO has been out for several years, and that means over the years Niantic has implemented a lot of daily tasks, and it could be quite overwhelming for the average player. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be going over all of the daily activities that you need to engage in so that you can have the most efficient outcome. Hey, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's dive right into it. Alright, so for today we're going to be going over every single bit of daily task that you need to engage in, and this is actually a very important video because for a majority of players they may feel overwhelmed with the amount of chores that Niantic gives you during your gameplay. And I do think that if you engage in all of these different aspects of Pokemon GO, you're essentially going to have the most efficient gameplay, and you're going to get the most Stardust, you're going to get the most player experience, as well as all of the premium items and different bonuses that you will never miss out on. Now, if you end up enjoying this video and found it to be extremely helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content just like this one. And yeah, that would help me out a tremendous amount. A lot of you watch my videos and you are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you are up to date on everything that I upload. And with that said, let's dive right into it. So the first daily task is actually quite important, and it's something that you naturally get every single day, and that is of course your daily streaks that you need to maintain. This includes your first catch of the day along with your first Pokestop spin of the day, along with your field research tasks that you need to complete every single day. And the reason why you do that is because on the 7th day of doing field research tasks, you of course get your research breakthrough rewards. Maintaining your daily streaks is actually quite important because the further along you get, the higher the rewards are going to be. And it all culminates on the 7th day where you will get a substantial amount of Stardust and experience when you spin a Pokestop and when you catch a Pokemon. So yeah, it's quite important. Regardless if you plan to not play during a particular day, you should still log in and try to spin at least one Pokestop or gym and catch at least one Pokemon and complete at least one field research task. And something to keep in mind is that if you set it up correctly, you could actually line up your 7th first catch of the day bonus with your weekly Adventure Sync rewards. This would net you a ton of Stardust if you pop a star piece right before collecting both of them, and that's something that I suggest a lot of players try to do. All you have to do is skip out on catching any Pokemon on a given Monday, and then afterwards make sure you catch a Pokemon every single day from that point forward. Without question, this is going to be one of the most efficient ways to use your star pieces every single week. Now, the next daily activity that I always suggest players engage in, even though it's something that a lot of players tend to ignore, is the buddy adventure system. The first thing that I do every single day is that I feed my buddy Pokemon some berries so that it is active in the map, so that I can collect candies and Candy XL along with Mega Energy and what have you as I go about my day, because as I'm collecting kilometers throughout my day, it's going to produce extra resources from your buddy. And then of course, getting a whole bunch of best buddy Pokemon is going to allow you to get the medal, which is really difficult to achieve, so this is something that I just suggest people do passively every single day. Now, the third activity, which I always suggest players engage in, is going to be doing at least one raid every day. You get yourself a daily free raid pass when you spin a gym, and if you do not spend that free daily pass, you're going to end up losing out on a whole bunch of free raids. It's imperative that you do at least one raid per day. I try to do at least one legendary raid, even if I do not need the raid boss, and if I can't even do that because I do not have the numbers, then I will at least do either a 3-star raid or even a 1-star raid, or maybe a Mega Evolution raid that's not necessarily that difficult. No matter what the content is, you should still do at least one raid per day, because if you skip out on several days in a row, then you're essentially losing out on a lot of free raids, and every single raid will give you a good number of resources, regardless if you need the Pokemon. I'm talking about Stardust and experience, along with items like rare candies and potions and revives. All of that stuff is incredibly important for your Pokemon GO play, and the only way to get that is when you do a whole bunch of raids. Now, the fourth thing that you need to do every single day is, of course, use the daily adventure incense. What I like to do is spend about 15 to 20 minutes every single morning going on a bit of a small walk, and then I pop the daily adventure incense, and hopefully I'll be able to get some good Pokemon. It's something that you should do do every single day, and it's something that some players tend to forget about. If anything, it should just be part of your routine. Doing the daily adventure incense on the daily is what's going to allow you to get a bunch of rare Pokemon that you could only get from the daily adventure incense, such as the Galarian legendary birds. Moving on, the fifth activity that you should engage in every single day is something that has been a part of the game for a very long time, and that is of course gym battles. The important thing about gym battles is that it is your way of getting Pokecoins for free within Pokemon Go, and considering that so many different premium items within the Pokeshop have increased in price over the years, it's imperative that you constantly keep up with your gym battles. I would suggest that you have some sort of daily route where you could always maintain those gyms, and make sure you're getting as many as 50 Pokecoins per day, and that might require you to put in a little bit of extra effort. And yeah, if you're doing that, you're gonna come out with a bunch of Pokecoins every single month, and that's going to allow you to do a lot more content within Pokemon Go. Next up, let's talk about Team Go Rocket battles. Every 6 hours, you will see a Team Go Rocket balloon appear on your screen. And it's important that you always do these battles because it's essentially free Team Go Rocket battles. And Shadow Pokemon are some of the most powerful Pokemon within the game, and you do not want to miss out on them. And then on top of that, collecting components will allow you to battle the Team Go Rocket leaders, which, if you're lucky, you might come across a shiny Shadow Pokemon, as well as getting those 12-kilometer eggs, which yield some exclusive Pokemon and some very powerful Pokemon for PvP. And speaking of which, next let's talk about PvP battles. It's very important that you keep up with PvP, even if it's something you do not care about. You get 25 battles every single day, and if you're actively engaged in all 25 battles, even if you do not win every single one of them, you're going to get yourself a ton of rewards and a bunch of Pokemon that are exclusive to PvP battles, and that is something that a lot of players tend to skip out on. But regardless of where you are at in Pokemon Go, you should still try your best at PvP, because if you're doing those 25 battles every single day, it's only going to benefit you. And then next, let's talk about Dynamax Pokemon and Max battles. So this is essentially a new form of progression that was added last year in Pokemon Go, and it's something for a lot of players to do if they just feel like there's just not much going on. And yeah, I think the max system is actually quite fun if you engage with it, and it's something that will actually keep you busy every single day. It is a separate form of progression, so the Pokemon that you get from max battles is not necessarily always going to translate over to PvE content, but it is something for you to do. And it's definitely something that could produce a lot of fun Pokemon and some pretty rare shinies as well. So yeah, if you feel like you do not have much to do in Pokemon Go as of late, then the max battle system is definitely something you should try out. And then finally, this leaves us with all of the leftover chores that you have to do. Like every time you log into Pokemon Go, there's likely going to be some sort of timed research or collection challenge, a lot of stuff that is time limited, which means it's going to go away after a certain period of time. And then of course there's stuff like opening gifts and sending gifts. This is all stuff that you really should be doing if you want to maximize your gameplay. It's all stuff for you to do every single day, and it's essentially what makes Pokemon Go feel so grindy at times, but it really is very important that you engage with all this stuff. It's really what's going to allow you to get some of the best Pokemon. It's going to allow you to always have enough Stardust to power up some of your most powerful Pokemon, and it's going to allow you to get a lot more out of this game, because if you're not engaging in all of the stuff that Niantic offers you, then this game does get stale pretty quickly. So yeah, it's my suggestion that you actively engage in at least a majority of the stuff that I talked about in this video, and that's what's going to keep Pokemon Go relevant for years to come. Then yeah, with that said, that's essentially going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Is there a particular daily activity that I did not mention that you actively engage in? And what do you think about all of this stuff that Niantic keeps adding into Pokemon Go? Definitely share your thoughts down below in the comments, and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be informative. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way to do so is by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, just like the names that you see on the bottom of your screen, then you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids in the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely completely different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is at Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to catch up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one.